Howdy, Space Rangers, Captain Phoenix here, and if you remember my last video, I mentioned that I was gonna be doing a video about the character of Arin from Ninjago Dragons Rising. Well, here we are. Now, for the uninitiated, you might be wondering, who the frick is Arin? And to that I say, what are you doing here? Go watch Dragons Rising, you uncultured swine, it's great! But in all seriousness, Arin is one of the main protagonists first introduced in Ninjago Dragons Rising, the sequel show to the original LEGO Ninjago series. He loves pie, uses a grapple hook for traversal and fights, is a friend to Ryu and Sora, and oh yeah, he managed to learn Spinjitzu on his own by simply watching a ninja because he was a mega fan of them before the merge. I want to add that even before Dragons Rising came out, I was really excited to see what they would do with Arin since a new ninja would be added to the team. I was especially drawn to Arin because I liked his design, his suit color because I wanted a yellow ninja on the team, and thought his power would be something cool. I wouldn't lie, I was initially salty when it was revealed that he didn't have a power and they instead gave that arc to Sora when they both could have shared it. I of course understand why they didn't do it. The idea that the ninja's biggest fan and most dedicated student doesn't have a power is an interesting arc to tackle. However, after season 1, my expectations of Arin tempered. I didn't find him to be a really interesting character, let alone protagonist. I get that he was supposed to serve as an audience surrogate, but in the world of Ninjago, Arin could be replaced by literally anyone and barely anything would change. Nothing about him stood out or made him protagonist worthy. A powerless ninja fan? We got Nelson, who much of the fanbase agreed for a time should have been the main character. Separated from their parents? We got Sora and most of the OG cast, honestly. The only thing he had to his name was that he taught himself Spinjitzu, and that could have been learnt by anyone. People have tried to defend the whole object Spinjitzu angle, and I'm so sorry for this tangent, but I have to rant about the object Spinjitzu because they still haven't addressed it even 3 seasons into the game. The main thing we're given in the show is that Arin taught himself Spinjitzu by watching a ninja, and through this method he also learned object Spinjitzu. This makes him special or unique because you're telling me that no one else in Ninjago looked up to the ninja. No, sir. No one else had the free time to teach themselves Spinjitzu. Now, I could overlook this if they said Arin was a protege. You know, he was mentally and combatively talented for his age. But this gets immediately disproven in season 2 with the introduction of Frak. Frak was Arin's best friend before the merge, and he loved the ninja just as much as Arin did. Heck, when they meet up again in season 2, Frak has been taken in by Ras and is shown to be a good fighter. There is no reason why he shouldn't be able to do the same Spinjitzu Arin does. The show gives us no context or explanation for Arin knowing Spinjitzu other than he saw the ninja do it, which is a weak as frick explanation since we know other characters could have been and were like him, yet for some reason he stands out. I was willing to overlook this in season 1 as I thought they would expand on it later. But no, season 2 introduces Frak and lets Arin accomplish mature Spinjitzu with no extra context on it, and season 3 just trucks along like nothing happened. This really bothers me because Arin, someone who learned Spinjitzu just by watching it, gets to unlock a new fighting style that neither the ninja or first Spinjitzu master seem to know or accomplish despite being trained by experienced masters, the ninja that is. Speaking of object Spinjitzu and its can of worms, are we not gonna talk about how it conflicts with past canon? It's technically always existed. Remember back in OG season 2 when the ninja had to escape Garmadon's base and had to use wooden planks to fly out of there? That is quite literally them putting Spinjitzu into an inanimate object. But ignoring that, you're telling me that this kid who taught himself a juvenile form of Spinjitzu was able to come up with a whole new martial arts form by accident? Make it make sense to me. I know hard work makes the dream work, but this is stretching it a little bit, don't you think?
Destroy my enemies, and my life is yours.
Okay, rant over. Let's continue talking about Arin's character. I really love Arin's motivation in this series. Find and reunite with my parents. You don't really see a lot of kid protagonists with this motivation outside of maybe Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. It's usually the other way around. And speaking of Arin's parents, I like how they feel like actual characters through the way he acts. Arin is kind, warm, and considerate to everyone he meets. He places manners and caring for others as his top priority as a way to honor his parents, really representing the loving upbringing he had and the positive impacts they had on him. This is a brilliant case of presence through absence. On the topic of Arin's interactions with the other characters, him and Sora have a strong friendship that transcends feuds and allies. I am so glad I waited until now to make a video on him, because in season 3, there is a brilliant episode where we see how Arin and Sora met for the first time and how their friendship grew from there. I gotta say, for a kids show, I really appreciate this level of writing and maturity from the crew, especially for giving us a really simple and well done boy-girl platonic friendship. Season 3 Part 1 ends with Sora joining Arin on his quest with Raz, and I am so interested as to how she'll react once she finds out Arin wants to reverse the merge, potentially separating them. I also like how Arin's view of Lloyd changes over the course of the show. In Season 1, he saw him as the ideal hero and basically worshipped him. In Season 2, however, he gets disillusioned once he realizes Lloyd's uncle is the one who caused the merge and separated him from his parents. He begins to see the flaws in the ninja and have his faith in them weaken over the course of the season. Finally, he turns on them, thinking that they have failed him and are too focused on the big picture instead of the people affected by the merge. Arin betrays the ninja, not out of jealousy, thank God! I was so worried they were gonna make this cliche, but out of insecurity and fear that he won't be able to do right by his parents without dabbling in the dark side. At the end of Season 3 Part 1, he snaps back to his senses and finally sees them as normal people. Normal people with powers, sure, but they're still human, they still make mistakes, and they can't do everything. It's a wonderful reshaping of the never meet your heroes trope, and I love it. It's such a great journey for him to go on. It's a great full circle moment as well once you realize on this journey of disillusionment, Arin fails too. He fails a lot, especially in Season 2. He fails to stop Raz from capturing Bonzo, and even fails to solve the mystery of the Tournament of Sources later on. It's only from Raz that he begins to win, but those karmic victories don't rest well with his conscience. It's only when he embraces his true characteristics at the end of Season 3 Part 1 that he scores a victory that he can truly be proud of. Speaking of heroes and villains, let's talk him and Raz. Raz has continued to prove himself as a great villain not just combatively but also intellectually. He tries to think of all methods to get into Arin's head and he barely makes a dent. Raz and Arin go back and forth on what it means to be strong and have power, and I really like this arc as it makes sense for both characters in their story. Since Arin and Raz aren't elemental masters, they've had to work twice as hard to get half the recognition, and to top that cake off, they've both lost people they cared about because they didn't think they were strong enough to protect them at the time. They faced similar tragedies, but you can see why Raz became a villain and Arin didn't due to their different upbringings. I also love that when Arin becomes a villain, he can't commit to it. His storyline in Season 3 is where I truly enjoyed him the most. He's on Raz's side and will fight to protect him, but doesn't want to hurt people. He'll let bad things happen if he needs to, but tries to de-escalate as many conflicts as possible. And even though he's just a kid, he displays an incredible show of strong will. He still holds some level of respect for the ninja, and despite all of Raz's manipulation, he still holds strong to his value, disagrees with the tiger, and realizes his love for the people close to him is his greatest strength, not his anger. Arin is such a good character that when he turned on the mountain dragons, I genuinely felt that. This is how you make your protagonist a great role model for kids while also allowing them to be flawed. This season goes to great lengths to show how being good is so ingrained in Arin's being that I can't help but admire the character and the writing around him. The single frame image of him looking conflicted in the season's intro gets across his character perfectly. Now, remember at the start of this essay, I said I originally wanted Arin to get a power? Well, throw that out the window! I do not want to see this man even blink a strand of elemental essence. Arin's lack of power and finding strength despite it is the whole point of his arc. It's why his friends have powers but he doesn't. Not giving Arin a power and handling him this well was the most genius move the writers made in all of Dragons Rising. I just need to trust the process. Please guys, keep cooking! This is good!
Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
And it's for all those reasons that I consider Arin to be Ninjago's most complex character and one of the series' best. I'd argue that he even has more depth than Garmadon. Yeah, I went there. Legit, the only thing they need to fix with him is to just give more of an explanation, or at the very least one that actually lines up with canon, as to why he's the only average Joe to learn Spinjitzu on his own. Anyway, with that being said, I love Arin, and I fully believe what Lloyd said about it. Arin does have what it takes to become the greatest ninja ever, especially since he's not an elemental master, yet has carried so much weight. There's no denying that he will end up as the greatest warrior in the land and a worthy successor to Lloyd after conquering his demons in the upcoming seasons. Anyways guys, that's gonna be all from me today. Tell me, what do you guys think of Arin? Does he show a lot of promise to you? Do you still think he has a long way to go? What do you think of his journey going forward? Do you already like him or are you just not interested to begin with? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, let's have a discussion. Anyway, thank you guys so very much for watching. Be sure to like if you like, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that notification bell to be part of the team, leave a comment down below, slap a cow, and with that, I will see you in another universe. Goodbye, my Rangers.